I have used both The Good and the Beautiful and All About Reading. Which one should you use? Let's talk about that in this video. Hey ladies, how's it going? I am Ashley, if we haven't met yet. If you're back, thanks for hanging back with me and hanging out with me. Today, let's talk about curriculum. I am a homeschool mom. I've been homeschooling my kids since 2013, and I love talking about Charlotte and Mason. I love talking about Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool, biblically based curriculum, and affordable homeschooling resources. And that's what we do here at Joyful Noise Learning, language arts curriculum. It feels like a big commitment, doesn't it? Teaching our kids to read or learn to love reading feels like a big deal, but I want to help you pick a curriculum that best fits your kids. So like I said, I have used both The Good and the Beautiful and All About Reading, and I want to talk about the pros and the cons of each of these. And then if you watch all the way to the end of the video, I'll share with you which one I think I would most recommend. By the way, friend, if you are new to homeschooling or thinking about homeschooling, I have an ebook for you. I wrote Ready, Set, Homeschool, the step-by-step guide to get started homeschooling. It's an easy 9-step book on how to get started that will help you pick the curriculum that is right for your family and get you on your way to educating your kids. So check that out in the description below. Let's start with All About Reading. So I used All About Reading first because it was recommended to me by a friend when I first started homeschooling, and it looked like a really good fit for teaching someone to read. Plus, Good and the Beautiful was not available back then. So I started with All About Reading level 1 with my kindergartner. I've almost finished with level 2 with my second grader right now, and he'll be starting level 3 in just a few weeks here. The pros for All About Reading are great visual and tactile elements. With the letter tiles and the student activities. So they're very much a hands-on visual curriculum. It's really great for tactile and sensory learners because they can feel and touch and move around the tiles and touch things and feel them, like I said. The tiles are also color-coded, so the kids can see the difference between the vowels and the consonant and consonants and other groups of letters. Next is the readers go along well with the lesson. So every lesson that you do, you have a reader that goes along with what you just learned, and it has the same sounds that your child just learned or has already learned in the reader. To me, this is very important, and I think that is a key. I like how they do one sound or like letter team at a time. They don't overboard the child, you just do one at a time. So it's kind of like a mastery approach, if you will. If you can hear my family drumming right now, that's what they're doing. There are clear phonics rules, and then they don't just give you the rule, they give you visual cues or tiles to remember the rule and memorize it really well. All About Reading is great for dyslexic students who have dyslexia. You can read about that on the All About Reading website, or for kids who have dyslexic tendencies or maybe some struggling readers. So it's really great for them. Another positive maybe for some of you is it has a script of exactly what to say. So it's mostly open and go. You open the book and then read what they say to say, and that's what you tell your kids. Now for the cons for All About Reading. So there's not too many actually, but the ones I do have are it only has phonics or reading instruction. That's all it is, or that's all it includes. It doesn't include anything else. So it doesn't include grammar or writing, or even spelling technically. There is lots of prep for it, but I've learned there's lots of prep at the beginning if you just get it set and ready to go at the beginning. Maybe I'll do a video if you guys want it. If you want a video of me prepping level 3, let me know in the comments and I can show you how I would prep it. But if you prep it at the beginning, then it is open and go later. Along with that, it has a lot of pieces to it that could potentially go missing. Lots of things that you have to keep track of and have to keep, make sure you keep track of it and don't lose it. It's not that hard, but that can be a con for some people. Thankfully, my friend Katie at Life in the Mundane has a great video on how to best organize it. So you'll want to go check her video out. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. The older versions are not in color, but I know the new versions are, but the older versions are not in color. I didn't see that as a huge setback, but that's just in case you wanted to see that. So it's all black and white in the old versions. The new versions do have color in it though, but I found it actually to be fine without colors. It was a little less distracting too. So there's that. All right, next I want to talk about The Good and the Beautiful. This is my daughter's level 3 book. Just a disclaimer, I have only used the pre-K book, the level K primer, or currently in that one now. And then I've used level 1, level 2, level 3, and now she's on level 4. I haven't used the level K. So I don't know to speak exactly for it, but I assume it's really close to like what the primer is and what level 1 is. So I'm assuming it's just a lot like level 1. So we're going with that. So the pros for The Good and the Beautiful are it includes not just phonics and learning how to read, but also spelling, grammar, right? A little bit of writing, geography, and some art. I like how it includes lots of sight word practice. So there's lots of different ways to practice the sight words, and they do that really well. Also, it is very, very pretty. It is just really pretty. They have lots of beautiful pictures, lots of great, colorful art in there all throughout the book. The way it's laid out, there's pretty handwriting and fonts. My daughter really liked that about this curriculum. The Good and the Beautiful is also open and go. It is true open and go style. There's not a lot of prep or set up ahead of time, which makes it very streamlined. So you can just pull out the book, get a pencil, and be ready to go. So that's also a pro about Good and the Beautiful. The cons that I found for The Good and the Beautiful, the first one is the readers don't always go right along with what the lessons were. They have some sweet little stories in the reader, but sometimes there's extra words in it and sounds that they have not learned yet. That you have to show the kids, and they didn't go exactly with what the children already knew. So they didn't always feel as confident as they're reading the stories, and I didn't like that. Sometimes they have cute stories or even little things within the lessons for them to read, but I didn't think they were well written. I hate saying that, guys, but I really felt like they were just taking certain words and tried to put them together to make a story, but it wasn't an actually really good story. The purpose of the story was to teach the kids to read certain words, but I don't know how else to describe that. That was just, I didn't like that very much. Also, for their phonics and spelling rules, they were not very clear. The sentences that they had the kids memorize for the phonics rules were not well done or streamlined. They didn't give any visual cues or reminders for how to remember the rules. Like I was saying, All About Reading does. They relied solely on memorization. So just memorizing it just for what it is, instead of giving them cues like, oh, this is the bossy R rule. This is the silent E name game rule. Like, cause I can just say that with the All About Reading lesson and my son remembers. But with The Good and the Beautiful, they don't have any cues like that to help remember it. So those are my honest thoughts on All About Reading versus Good and the Beautiful. And this was a really hard video to make because I know that Good and the Beautiful is a really popular curriculum right now. And I'll say they do a good job for many people. They do work for many people. But for my struggling reader, it did not work as well. It works for my intuitive child who was intuitive with the rules and the spelling things, but not for my struggling reader. What would I recommend the most between these two curriculums? I'll be honest, I will just say that if you're trying to teach your child to read, All About Reading is really, really good about that. So I would definitely recommend All About Reading for the early stages, definitely levels 1 and 2 for sure. That's what my daughter did. She did levels 1 and 2, and then she started Good and the Beautiful. I liked how she had that good foundation. But I think once your child knows how to read, once your child is over that hump, I think Good and the Beautiful can be a good fit after the fact, after that. And like I said, Good and the Beautiful may not be the best fit for a struggling reader, or maybe if you could find a way to do an All About Reading lesson and then do Good and the Beautiful, that's what I've been kind of trying to do and try to make them fit. And I haven't been doing a very good job of it, but I think it can be possible. If you want to watch, you can watch my struggling reader language arts update video. I'll link to that in the description as well. I just put that out just a few weeks ago for my 2nd grader. So on the flip side of that, if you have a child who is really into art and nature and beauty and all those things, Good and the Beautiful is a great fit for that for sure. Especially if you want a child who wants to open up their book and have something nice to look at instead of just a basic, workbook. then they would definitely like The Good and the Beautiful. So there you go. I hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to chat with you. Be sure and watch my language arts update video, like I said here, or I have a Charlotte Mason math curriculum video as well if you want to pick the best math curriculum for your kids. As always, you rock at homeschooling. Go find your joy among the noise, and I will see you next time.